And we are live. The adult beverages are poured, the kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old.
So this is how far removed I am from modern gaming.
Okay.
I dip into Twitch a little bit every now and then. It's kind of interesting to see what people are playing.
Yep.
Hardly watch it like for hours, but I jump in. One guy is like really entertaining. He's playing Fortnite. Game streamer, very popular guy named Poison, and playing around. He's hilarious. I'm really liking it. So it's like, oh, there's a button you can like it or just like kind of favorite it. So I do that, and then I realize, but then my name pops up on screen. It's like, oh, geez, okay, all right. And then he says, he's like, oh, hey, sup, Alexander Trevor, thanks for the follow. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh no,
Oh no.
I've been seen. Like I was so taken aback. First, it's just like, oh god, I've been seen, and then the guy who, like, I've watched him a few times, so it's respect's kind of a long word, but it's just like, wow, this guy's really good at what he does, so it becomes somebody you kind of respect in that light. And then he says your name.
You're just like, oh my god.
So there's my moment of fame. I had my name show up, and a streamer called it out, as
That's
any streamer would. Thanks for the sub type of thing.
Yeah. That's right.
So it was just, and then of course I proceeded to laugh at myself. It's like, cool dad.
Yeah, that's it.
Hashtag cool dad.
Yeah.
Welcome everybody to the show. Lots to talk about. Well, we'll start things off. We actually got a question sent to us via Twitter, and thanks so much for that. If you want to have a question, if you have a thought, if you have an opinion on something, we'd love to hear it. Hit us on Twitter, Facebook, or the Anchor link to leave a voice message to get included. But this one actually comes kind of excitedly from a fellow gaming dad podcast. So shout out to them, Club XP Podcast. You can find them on iTunes and probably all of the carriers. Great bunch of guys. Highly recommend it. Club XP Podcast. But they sent us out a question. So they go from one group of new podcasting dads to another.
Yeah.
It's a very cool group of folks, I'll tell you.
That's right.
What video games have you considered or have had success with introducing to your kids? Besides Minecraft, no offense to Minecraft or anything.
Right.
It's funny with Minecraft. I'm hoping to get my kid more into it. I like the puzzle aspect to it, but it's just a little beyond him so far.
Yeah.
All he wanted to do is fight things, but because it's more survival, he kept dying immediately. Right. Now, Jeff, your answer is a lot more interesting than mine, so I want to get into yours a bit.
Sure. Yeah.
3 that we had kind of surprising success with. First was Castle Crashers. I think I'm going to mention one of the previous shows.
Yes.
This is great for me.
That's what it's all about, is it not? Come on.
I adore this game. Like, this is such a fun game. So to be able to get back into it, and he just loves it. He wants to play it more and more. Like, he loves leveling the characters. I'm doing my best not to tell him how to level his characters. So all of a sudden, when he has like all magic and nothing else,
yeah,
hey man, whatever floats your boat. But it's super simple. But man, ton of, as a dad, so pleased we could play this one. Yeah, so that was great.
That's a good one.
Now, the Nintendo Clubhouse Games 51. This ended up being a big success, and even for my 3-year-old.
Oh, wow!
He loves. So I'm on screen for the video portion of this. I have the boxing mini game, and he loves. He'll ask to play it. Now he's like, "Can we play boxing?" And then he starts pretending to swing into his fists, which is
that's too cute. Yeah.
Yeah, but between that and the tank game, and a few other ones, like, they've actually really taken to this little collection of mini games. And again, for the parent, there's a lot of really cool, fun stuff in there. So I'd recommend checking that one out. And then the last one he's recently got into, again, something I mentioned in the previous episode, Totally Accurate Battle Simulator.
Yes.
So just dumb fun. It's a bunch of, silly, dumb AI characters going out. You have to set them, where you set them actually really matters for how the battle will go. But because it's so cartoonish and silly, it's just, he's laughing his head off the whole time. And then I let him choose what and where. It's like, okay, put a mammoth there. Okay, put a spear guy there. Yeah. They go, now fight. And again and again and again. So it's just been a blast. It's a really great game for that.
He's gonna be amazing at like outdoor recess games like dodgeball and stuff. He's like, all right, everybody, fan out. We gotta
He's
take.
he's the strategy. No. We got to get the biggest guy in the back. That's how it works in these.
That's
Go.
right. Yeah.
Now, so we say kids game, and then
Right.
what Jeff picks is Diablo 3.
Yes.
You care to
Yes.
explain yourself, sir?
Right. So I know this one's a little bit more mature, just a little bit. But I got my
Not
kids.
necessarily a 5-year-old.
No, yes. But my 10-year-old and my 7-year-old, actually, I've allowed them to dip into Diablo 3. I realize, it's got blood in it, but I think just as a parent and where we are with movies and, even watching Harry Potter movies, like blood, I think is okay right now. It's still kind of, it's monsters. It's hell, but they don't really know that. But it's monsters. You're a character. You go around, you fight stuff. They don't care a lick about the story. They don't really understand the story, and frankly, I don't care much about the story. Yeah, I know. It's just like, I don't really care. Just give me the stuff. Which is what we do. We play multiplayer on the PS4, and we run around, and I've actually complained a little bit about this before, but the amount of loot and different stuff you can get, the kids just love it, right? It's just like opening Christmas after defeating, the whatever monster, right? So they love the new loot. They want to, see what epic and legendary stuff they can get and what drops they can get. It is a little menu heavy, so it's just constant menu. One kid goes and then the next kid goes, and then I just don't bother and just want to get on in the area. But it was a really cool thing to get into because, again, it's more of that mature game, which I can have fun with. And it's not, like a Lego game where things are pixels and blocks. So it was exciting. And we still play it up now and then, but it was a good one to get into.
Yeah, I think that'd be really like I would love to play this game, and especially if you could get into some longer sessions with them, something a bit more meaty. Like that sounds like it's fantastic.
Yeah, no, we play for quite a bit, so we get really involved. But it's a good one when you're there, when you're at that age, and kind of make that call as a parent, because it does have gore in it. It's zoomed out gore, but really, again, make that call. But it's a good one. I highly recommend.
Yeah, I guess 10-year-olds playing Diablo versus 10-year-olds playing Call of Duty 3. I mean,
exactly.
Take your pick, I suppose.
Yeah, that's right.
So, yeah, man, I hope we can get into that one.
Yeah.
But it sort of brings up a interesting topic and thing that you were fighting with a bit with, because I don't know if you had to save your game when you're playing Diablo 3.
Well,
how that would work.
There's lots of saves that happens, and when you play mature games, and your kids kind of get into owning their own games and getting in and playing your games, stuff can happen. So what happened?
Like, I wish we could take a poll of the audience, because it's just like you all kind of know what's coming, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. And it's, as a gamer, your worst nightmare. So just to give you a little background, it's the game is Zelda, actually, on Switch, Breath of the Wild. And
oh, God.
So with the Switch, you can play games and you're under a profile. And the profile, like PS4 and probably Xbox, once you log into that profile, that game save is tied to your profile. So my 10-year-old is now really into Zelda. And if you watch his social channels, he's already got the Master Sword. The problem, Trevor.
God, I can't stand the fact you're going to say it.
He was on my profile and he had saved over my game, my beaten Zelda. So when you beat it, you're allowed to save as like not New Game Plus, but like you're complete. This is it. So that's gone. So you can picture my eye twitch a little bit, and it's not like I don't think I would have ever gone back to Zelda. So it was kind of okay. Like that's a lot of hard work. It's kind of gone, but really, I don't know if I go back. And, we talked about, making sure that you're on the right profile and not overwriting anything, and read the menus when they pop up. Like, are you sure? Are you sure? Sure? Like,
really sure?
Yeah. Make sure you know what you're doing. But then I was thinking about, there's another Zelda coming out, and I don't know if it's going to be like based off your previous save, and it gives you stuff, and I'm like, oh no. So I'd
Oh,
rather not think about that. I'd rather not think
oh.
about that and just kind of like go about it. And maybe he can beat it, and then I can use his stuff for the next game. Like maybe
Yeah,
that's the compromise, right?
and you better
So
100% it too.
that's yeah,
Like
that's right.
you are grounded until you 100% this game.
That's
You're
right. You
getting
better
back
have
the
the same,
crystals.
yeah, the same weapons and armor I had at the end of the game. So yeah, we had a little chat. But oh man, just when your heart drops a little bit, and like it's not a huge deal in like the big scheme of like pandemic and the world burning, but you're like, man, like there's a lot of hours clocked in there. Like
Actually, like dad hours. That's like a dad
yes,
hour is like 5 to 10 normal person hours.
that's right.
So
That's
the fact
right.
that you actually beat the game is kind of a
Yeah,
bit amazing to me. And then
yeah.
like to have that just all done.
It's
I didn't even think about the second game where
I
it's
don't
like
want
you might have completely lost
no.
all of the
Yeah.
next part of it.
There's still hope. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope Nintendo's like, nah, we won't do that. But you never know. There's always that little like, eh, if it
Hmm.
detects a game save, we'll give you something. So that was just heartbreaking. But again, just
Yeah.
dads, you just have to be
Wonder
extra
if like
careful or check yourself or watch your kid all the time. I don't know.
I do wonder
So
if like it's watching maybe watching, but that's like at some point they gotta you need them to just go off on their own and do their thing.
you're
I do wonder
tired.
if there's something you can lock your account or you need a password to get into it, the
Uh,
Switch.
yeah, Nintendo is kind of wishy washy on that stuff. On the PS4, you can. You
Mm,
can have an account password, but Nintendo, I have the app that comes with it. It just
mm,
tracks the time that they put into it. Like
yeah.
it's not like locking down anything, but yeah, I mean, if I didn't take that nap, I would have seen him go into my
Kind
profile.
of kind of did to yourself, but also just
Yeah,
oh
yeah,
God, that dad pain. That's
yeah.
likely got to be something. Man, my kid almost did the same with we've been playing that damn Lego game,
Oh
Marvel.
God.
We'd finally beat everything, so now we're at a point he can just go to whatever he wants. He has a whole world. So it's like,
Okay.
okay, great, you're good. We don't have to play those stupid missions. And
Right.
this game too on the Switch, Lego Marvel 2, it is incredibly buggy.
Oh.
So I would lose save progress all the time. So to finally have gotten through and saved it, it was great. And he's going through menus one time, and all of a sudden he's like clicking, like, "Do you sure you want to overwrite that?" And it's like, "Da da 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 da
Oh
da da!
no. Oh no. Yeah.
We're not doing this
It's
again.
just.
I'm throwing out that game." Oh,
Uh,
so dads beware. There's got to
that's right.
hopefully the in next versions of the console, I like that PlayStation has the pass. Most ideally for the next ones too,
Yeah.
like Switch or these next gen PS and Xboxes will have it.
Yeah.
Oof.
I'm hoping there's something there.
That's
And then
that's a
they think like, what if he deleted the game? Like at least the game saves are off on hopefully somewhere. Do you know what I mean? Like, is that the next thing I have
cloud
to lock down? I don't know.
cloud saves.
Yeah.
Oh, that's 1,000. The sound you heard was 1,000 dads
Yeah.
shedding a tear at the same time.
Oh, help me. Yeah.
But moving along, I mean, your kid playing games and games that you're playing. So you mentioned the games that you were playing. I know you'd been very into Last of Us 2. Now we talked about it, slightly a mature title with Diablo 3.
Yes.
And, so the games that you play, you let your kid play Diablo 3, but there's still some games that you won't let them play. And if I understood your description, what you're starting to find now is as your kids stay up later, your time to play such mature games like Last of Us 2 is diminishing. So there's sort of this
Yeah.
overlap time of what used to be their bedtime, your dad time.
Yeah.
That's like that's
It's
shrinking and moving, is
it's
it?
it's shrinking. Like, and really, like, you could just say, "Well, why don't you stay up later?" That doesn't work in dad time.
No, you
You are
can't.
tired. Like, there's no way. It's again a miracle I don't fall asleep at 5 o'clock on the couch. So, like I said before, it's just something that is going away slowly. So, yeah, we play mature games like Diablo 3, but Last of Us Part 2, there's a lot in there, and it's very like visceral and like real,
Mm.
with real characters struggling, and there's no like light at the end of the tunnel. Like it's not like these morals that kind of just pop up and say everything's okay and sunshine
Mhm.
and rainbows. So it's a dark game, and for them to go to bed later, we're talking like, school days 8:30, 9 o'clock. Sometimes it's 9:30 by the time, you hear snores, and I can actually start up a game. But you have to be in the mood at that point too. Like sometimes
Mhm.
I don't want that heaviness, and now I can't play these games that I used to like just love to be in. Right? It's a very story
Yeah.
driven game. I'm like, you know what? I can't do it. I'll just
Mhm.
play Animal Crossing or something. Just
I'll just browse my phone.
yeah,
I'll just doom scroll for a bit and like
that's right.
go to sleep.
Yeah.
No, so have you ever do you find it how do you find yourself as far as setting boundaries? Would it be a scenario now or in future where you'd say, okay, um, kids, I'm gonna go like play a game for a bit. You guys stay out, like go do like entertain yourself for the next hour type of thing, or is that kind of a bridge too far? Like that feels it's
Um,
too strong a word, but neglectful. Like,
no, yeah, like I never felt comfortable doing it because they always want to participate, and it's hard to say like no. You know what I mean? Like I do need my own time, and if they're downstairs, I guess on their own system, like their DS or the iPad or something, and they're doing something and they're kind of zoned out or watching a movie by themselves, then I can maybe sneak it in. But if they know I'm playing, and again, I had
mm,
this gripe with PS4 with the beep sound when it turns on. They come running like it's like Pavlov's dog. They like know that something's going on. If I can sneak something in, then great. But I, again, if they know I'm playing something, they'll want to be with me, which I don't mind. Like I don't want to turn that away either. So I'll put off the game. But yeah, it's
mm,
getting harder, and I'm actually picking my games more carefully that way too. Where is this something I can play with them? Like I
mm.
guess Final Fantasy VII Remake, not a problem. Assassin's Creed was sort of pushing it, and sometimes I was just like, nope, not a much.
Yeah, it's
They
a bit
can't see
visceral.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I don't
it's
know.
a weird.
Like,
You're in a very weird overlap time because if they were 15, 16, 17,
yeah,
um, Bob's your uncle. Everybody gets to play whatever you want. At that point, it starts to lean into, uh, if possible, would you could start to consider second systems? Like maybe they inherit the PS4 because you got your PS5 coming. So it's got almost in the sense that there's a weird point now where it's like you can't play those adult games with them
yeah,
there. So you have to like segment your time and pick your spots, which is very seldom. You're gonna lose time. I think
right.
at some point it feels like, well, and let me know if you agree. It's almost going to be like they could play those games, but I want to play those games, and they also want to play those games.
Yeah,
So just you go play your game, so I
yeah.
can play. You know what I mean? At some point,
It
there'll be co-op, but there'll also be single player, and at some point, it's like go just get out, go play your
yeah,
own game, get out of here.
yeah. And that's funny that you mentioned that because one of my friend's kids is a little bit older, and he plays on his dad's account. So I know his dad, and he sees me online, and he messages me, and I have to figure out who it is. But he'll play single player games that are more mature, and I'm like, okay, hold on, no spoilers. This game
Mhm.
came out like a year ago. I don't know what happens at the end of God of War. Like,
Yeah,
let's let's not say
slow your
anything.
roll.
Yeah, like so I can see if my kids get another, if I give them the system and they kind of go off and play, that's got to be a rule. That's got to be a ground rule. Like if you are going to play these mature games that I want to play and I haven't played yet, no spoilers. Like over dinner, like you can't say anything. Like there's not, like respect it. Like that is, that's it. Or I'm just taking it away. That'll be the deal breaker.
Yeah, there's just
So
these man, these funny phases, I suppose, of dad gaming where it kind of starts with maybe it's like an iPad or a tablet or phone game where they're just kind of like tapping a screen. I remember my kid used to love when he was young the puzzle ones. So it used to be it's like a piece of wood and it's a cutout of a giraffe, and then you take like the wood shape and you drag it over to the giraffe.
yep, yep,
Adored those things. So that was fun. And then now he's getting into Lego,
right,
the total, the 4 or 5 games we just mentioned. And then, we'll kind of get to the weird in between where you're at,
yeah,
where it's like, okay, we can start to get into some games, but we got to be real careful
yeah,
what themes we hit. And then again, it's always like, then they hit, it's like, okay, you can play whatever you want, but I'm going to play whatever I want to.
yeah,
So we're going to have to
exactly.
figure out how this goes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it again, it's just like waves, right? So like you
Mhm.
really want them to get into stuff so you can play like Mario Kart with them. Like that, I remember that was a huge deal to me, like
Mhm.
I remember you saying the same thing. It was just like, yes, this is the start of something, and then then you kind of see them get into more games that you like, which is great. But then like you realize like the more mature games that you could play are starting to go away, and you're like, oh. But then they'll come back, and then you'll just have to kind of, again, set rules. No spoilers.
No spoilers.
If you're gonna play me in a
family to have important of a family of gamers to have rules and boundaries.
That's right. Again, multiplayer maps. If you're playing me, you go easy on me. I'm your dad out there. You can't go around schooling me. That's not gonna work.
You come back and revive me, young man.
That's
you
right.
do not leave your dad on the battlefield.
That's right. Exactly. It's good times. I don't know.
Yeah, I keep thinking about I mentioned it before, a different episode where there's a future if my kid continues in gaming and really tends to like it. There was a future, or another podcaster talking about him and his son would go out to the midnight event for Call of Duty. Him and his son just adored Call of Duty. They played it together all the time. But it's just a thought like that bonding experience where it's actually participating in an event. And even if it was maybe like a midnight release or whatever it's going to be, like, all right, you and me, buddy, we're going to get some, garbage snacks and we're going to stay up late tonight. Like, let's wait for this thing to launch and we'll play it a bunch. It'll be great. Right. So you get to kind of like that habit that you've grown up with, this like hobby, you kind of get to experience that event part of it as well. Yeah. Like that I kind of look forward to. I don't know if you have future visions of that too.
No, that would be cool just to, again, share that moment, because I think I always kind of wanted that with my parents growing up, but they weren't. Like, it wasn't there. They didn't know what it was. They didn't know what, they called it Mario. And it was just, no, it's, go play Mario.
On your Nintendo. It's a PlayStation, Mom.
Yeah, exactly. Everything's Nintendo to them. But yeah, they weren't into those kind of events. So it would be nice to, share that with them. And we have gone to, before the pandemic, like a gaming conference. I brought the kids along, and it was great. Like, they were excited to go, and it was kind of like that neat thing to share with them. So I'm on board.
Somebody at some point we'll draw up a chart of all the various like gaming dad phases, and we'll talk about the kind of weird middle years that you're currently seeing. So, okay. So Jeff, I need your help.
Oh no.
Yeah. So a update on the streaming scenario. So last week I was enjoying Xbox Game Pass, still am, still bullish on the service.
Yep.
But man, how did I even come about it? I suppose I started to research what else was out there, and specifically around PlayStation. And I knew they didn't have anything out, but I was like, it dawned on me, okay, like what is PlayStation Now like? Like, how good is it?
Okay. Yeah.
What does it have? Is it kind of comparable? Because for me, when I first thought about it, it's sort of like, well, that's just, PS2 and PS3 games. Like, it's not really much of a service. But then I started to kind of catch some news items about like it actually, there's a bit more to it. It's a bit more interesting. So here's why it's even a bit more further interesting to me in the vein of game streaming.
Okay.
So very specifically, so I'm recording on, if you're looking at the audio or the visual, I'm on a PC. I'm showing my screen. I have the PlayStation Now game or a system up. I can stream and play any of these games.
Oh, wow.
It's a pretty good catalog. It's got Jeff's favorite boy band version of Final Fantasy.
That's right.
It's got Rocket League, the latest Resident Evil, 2K19, Dead Cells, Hitman, Rainbow Six Siege, Just Cause 4, Dead Cells. Some good stuff, some really good stuff in this title.
Yeah.
So okay, so somewhat interesting. You can play on your PC. You can stream these games. You can stream these games on your PlayStation. You can also install some of them. Now, they don't all install, but some of them can install. So if you want a kind of local experience, let's try Doom here. Nope, Doom can't install. Hitman 2 does not install. That's a very bad start to this conversation.
0 for 2. All right.
0 for 3.
All right. Which ones can you do? Rocket League, you probably do.
Batman Beyond. Okay, sorry. That's embarrassing. I'm on the PC version. I'm like looking which ones I'm trying to install, as opposed to, I don't know if I can like tell my PlayStation to install it from the system.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
But either way, so like you are able to. Let me see if I can find a Lego game to make sure of that fact because
Oh, they got quite a few there. Look at that. They got a whole catalog of Lego
okay,
games for you.
yeah. So this one, for instance, I'm looking at Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham. I installed that on my local system. So what is interesting, you remember with one of the issues I had with the current iteration of Xbox Game Stream or Game Pass, per my experience, was if I stream a game and I make progress, it's not cross-saved.
Oh, right. Yes.
Right?
I
So
remember
my
that. Yep.
mobile, make some progress. I go to my PC. It didn't save over for all of them. Some of them it does, others it doesn't.
Right.
PlayStation, in fact, it does. So your game is your
Oh.
game. The progress is completely saved. You can install some of these to your actual PlayStation. So in the Lego, I want to get my kid off of that Lego Marvel one, so I installed for him Lego Batman 3. He's loving it. So it's actually installed on the system. More interesting. So here's what all comes together.
Okay.
Is you'll recall that the PS4 has stream or play anywhere.
Yes.
If that's what it's called. What's the name of the actual app? Second here. PS4 Remote Play.
Okay. Yep.
So on your iPhone or a very updated Android 10 Android phone, you can stream your screen from your PlayStation.
Right. Yep.
So any game that you install on the PlayStation will stream. And what I did test and confirm is in the case of Lego Batman 3, I was able to install that on my PlayStation and then stream that to my phone.
Okay.
So the place that I'm at, so my problem persists.
Okay.
Where it's like, okay, I'm currently in kind of a PlayStation world. I have a PlayStation backlog. Some of these games, a decent portion, you can install to your system, to your PlayStation. And then if I want to do my streaming, I want to, not be tied down to a physical system, I can install it and then stream it to my mobile. So it kind of becomes a bit of a streaming service. It's not in the cloud, it's still connected to a physical box, but
right.
You're kind of splitting hairs. Like, how many times am I truly going to be out in the wide world?
Right now, not. It's not going to happen. So, you're pretty good. Yeah.
Now so I don't know which service to go.
No.
So because here's the thing. So, and again, my backlog on PlayStation's silly. I have so many games. Being a PlayStation Plus subscriber, so many amazing games to get through.
Right.
Dad of War, my perennial game I'll never finish.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Remake I still haven't finished yet.
Oh my God. Okay.
I know, right? So I got lots to go through. So I don't need more games.
Right.
And then I can install a bunch. I can install this onto my PlayStation. So me and my son, and you can do 2-player. So me and my son are with the installed game on the PlayStation. We're playing 2-player together.
Yes.
Lots of good stuff.
Yeah.
So that's my head talking.
Wow.
My heart, for some reason, I really prefer the Xbox service. I don't know why. Jeff's, what's wrong with me?
You just have a lot of choice, and I think it's more guilt of your backlog. That backlog on the PlayStation is eating at you, and just seeing those games might bring those memories back. But I can see benefits to both. Again, Game Pass has a lot of, I want to say more current games, and probably a larger library.
Yeah, I gotta say, I gotta give it to. I think PlayStation probably has the better library, but as far as the software, the service, and I'll say the PlayStation software around it is garbage. You can't search. There's no real categories.
Oh, really?
It's really kludgy. It's really kind of. I think they've really kind of not spent the time to make it as good a service as possible. I think that might change. I'd be really interested to watch it for the next couple months, given all of the competition that's come out.
Right.
But of the two, the Xbox is certainly much better done. Yeah,
and what's the pricing on it? PS Now is not cheap, or not cheap as
they're comparable. I think PS Now is about 16, and I think Xbox Game Pass is 16. Give or take $2 or $3. They're right in the same range together. And with Game Pass too, you could always reduce it, in that if I had an actual Xbox, I could just do the Xbox/PC version and take out the mobile streaming you kind of pay extra for the mobile streaming.
Okay, gotcha.
Right.
Well,
yeah, no, it's just
you might be sitting with 2 streaming services. Well, how many streaming services? again, just add it to the pile, Trevor. I don't know. Like,
Yeah,
just
because I need more. I need more of a backlog.
that's right.
Really, let's be
That's
real
right.
here.
As long as they don't take off the games before you get to them, you're fine, right? Because they'll always be kind of there. So
I was surprised how upset I was about that. Honestly,
yeah.
it feels kind of like leaving soon. I think
How
generally I like
how
to, so
much
that
time does it give you? Leaving soon. What is that?
I don't know that it's like
What's soon?
math.
Soon,
I
like tomorrow?
that's been at least for 2 weeks now.
Oh, okay. So
So
maybe
they
a
give you
month.
some decent heads up, and they give you a chance to buy it if you're signed up for the service anyways. There's a 20% discount on the game,
Okay.
so the price can get pretty reasonable if you really want to keep it. But I mean something like Dirt Rally 2. So we're looking at a screen here. We have 2 games leaving soon: Dirt Rally 2 and Bad North, Joe Tun.
Oh yes. Yep.
But like, are you really? Could you not cough up the $12 if you're desperate for it, or move on to
Right.
50 other games that are around?
You know, it's funny now that we're talking like games leaving and coming in, and even just in my head, I'm going to demos. There used to be demos. Now
Mhm.
there's not so many. But as part of PS Plus a while ago, you used to be able to play at least 60 minutes of a full game
Oh
for
no.
free as part of PS Plus, and then decide if you want to buy it with a discount. And that's kind of looks like what Game Pass is expanded upon, and kind of give you that full game. And then as dads, maybe we only play a couple of hours, and then we see it leaving, and we might want to purchase it for our backlog. Um, but it's just interesting to see kind of these different strategies out there and what has kind of gone away and then come back bigger and better.
Hmm.
Um, and see where this goes in the next gen. It's going to be
Yeah. So I'm not
more of
getting a
that.
lot of answers from you, Jeff. is what I'm-
No, I'm kind of
you're
making
not
it more complicated. I'm probably selling both services. I don't know. Um,
you're not solving my problems.
I will say, there's no streaming for Nintendo, so you're safe there,
Yes, so
right?
far. Knowing my luck, like next weekend it's going to be really compelling.
Probably they'll come out with this whole new platform. So
Yeah. So I'm telling you, like I think like the on paper, the
yeah,
logical way to do this, and especially given my current quote unquote streaming, like if I was because of business, if I was traveling all the time
yeah,
and having a true mobile game streaming type scenario would make a lot of sense.
okay, yeah.
That'd be on paper a better reason for it, but that doesn't exist. I'm generally in my house,
Right,
right?
yep,
So on paper, the PlayStation Now / PS Remote Play is the reasonable option. But that meme where it's a guy walking with his girlfriend and then like he looks around at the other
yeah,
girl
exactly,
and the
yeah,
girlfriend's upset. It's
yeah,
kind of like what I'm looking at here because there's just I just something about the Xbox service and how it all came together. And it's almost about them being more daring too. And I'll tell you the craziest one that capped us off. We'll got to kind of wrap up the episode, but it almost makes me consider buying an Xbox.
Oh wow, yeah. See, their strategy is paying off. Then, like
Yeah,
that's
yeah. One tiny thing is that what seems to have happened is I need to do some more in-depth research. But if I'm piecing this together right, Game Pass with your Xbox, you can download the game, install it on your actual Xbox.
right.
Xbox did release a new iOS version of their app that lets
Okay,
you stream games that are installed on your Xbox.
okay,
Because the problem with the Game Pass that Apple had, where they got refused, so Game Pass is not allowed on iPhones because they did
right,
not want to have a library of games that they couldn't vet that was somewhere else beyond the person's ownership.
right.
However, much like the PlayStation One, much like other streaming things, if the person has their own device with a game that they quote unquote own, that's okay with you streaming. So they released a new version where if you have a physical Xbox, it'll work just like PS Remote Play.
Okay,
So the PlayStation setup I have now could work with the Xbox, which piqued my interest. But just man, I don't know. Like you said, the strategy I guess is working on me because all of a
yeah,
sudden, like I'm knee deep in PlayStation, but I'm staring across the pond over at Camp Xbox. And what if? What
yeah.
if?
They, again, and it's only going to get better, really. Like if once you add, the ID software in there and Dooms and Bethesda and all those games are going to come over with EA Play coming in there too. So I think PlayStation has to kind of kick it up a notch if they want to compete or really hit on their exclusives while they can and try to sway you back. But you got a good dilemma for a gaming dad. Not so much for your pocketbook, but
it's a wonderful problem to have.
Yeah.
Damn if it's not conflicting. Hey,
Right.
Final Fantasy 15, that's the new online one, right? That's the MMO?
The 14.
14 is the MMO.
14 is the MMO. 15 is just the boy band.
Oh,
going
15 is
across.
boy band. Okay.
Yeah. Which is, it's good. It's fine. It's not great.
I thought you liked it. I thought you liked it a bunch.
It was okay. Like it's
Oh.
the ending is not great, but like it's good. Again, there you go. There's 60 hours for you.
Okay. And just ended up here. We talked about this last time. We didn't hit it though. I'm at the Xbox app. There's something called "What Will You Play Next?" and surprise me. Let's see. What are we gonna do? Got a cool little animation. Farming simulator.
Okay, there you go. This is what you're doing. You're going out to the fields, Trevor. Get some strawberries.
Well, I just lost all interest in Xbox. PlayStation for life. Oh, it'd be so much funnier if PlayStation also had a random feature because then I can compare who they think I am.
That's right. Their algorithm's not working on you. Yeah.
Well, I suppose the idea of random is that it's not about me at all, but cool. Thanks. Farming Summer 17. The future's here.
That's the rule. Now you got to play it. Give us a review next episode.
Oh, yeah. Review forthcoming.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. That has been the show. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you can reach us on Twitter, Facebook at New Dad Gaming. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to get your thoughts. If you are participating in these game streaming services, if you can solve my problems about which one to use. If you have some thoughts about Jeff and his mature game situation or save state, if you can solve that one for him.
Yeah.
Absolutely love to hear from you. In addition, in the link for this episode, you will see a quick link that'll take you off to be able to record a quick voice message that we'll include in the show next week or some of the coming weeks. Would love to hear from you. So if you'd like to subscribe to the podcast, you can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and any of the other major podcasting services. As always, we'd really appreciate a download, a like, a comment, and most importantly, passing along to other new dads who game. Until next week, my name is Trevor. I have too many streaming services and a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I don't think I have any gaming streaming services. I'm not sure. Maybe I can just pawn yours off. Give me your user and pass.
We'll do the old Netflix or the old HBO situation. Sorry. You have one less save state. You want to mention that?
That's true. Yep. That's that -1 game, a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old.
Because of what? Because of the 10-year-old.
Yep.
All right, buddy. We'll see you next week.
See you.